2 former officers charged with assaulting an inmate, studies on the safety of Tennessee high schools, and a man from Michigan facing charges in Tennessee.
All that and more on this episode of APSU-TV News. Welcome back to your APSU-TV News. I'm Breanna Franklin.
And I'm London Jones. 2 former tactical officers with the Tennessee Department of Correction Strike Force have pleaded guilty for their roles in the assault of an inmate and ensuing the cover-up of a prison in Tiptonville. The Department of Justice says Jayla Griffin of Nashville pleaded guilty last week to using unlawful force on an inmate at Northwest Correctional Complex and providing false information in his official report of the incident. The other officer, Sabron Hollins of Clarksville, pleaded guilty last week to providing false information in his official report regarding the same incident. Court documents say Griffin admitted to punching an inmate identified as KW in the head and breaking his jaw, even though KW did not resist or pose a threat, justifying the officer's use of force. But Griffin and Hollins confessed that they provided false information in their official reports in order to obstruct the investigation into the incident. As part of the plea deal, Griffin will serve 4 years in prison. Hollins faces up to 20 years in prison for his false report. Hollins is set to be sentenced in January. Griffin will be sentenced in March. Justice Department officials say a federal district court judge will consider the U.S. sentencing guidelines and other statutory factors before determining any sentence.
Residents of Millersville are mourning the loss of deaths of 2 children who fell victim to a duplex fire early Wednesday morning. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation identified the children as 10-year-old Braden Shane Myers and 4-year-old Bellamy Blake Myers. News Channel 2 reports that an unknown firefighter stated that an unknown number of people were able to make it out of the home safely, and the fire was contained about an hour after the crews arrived. Due to the heavy fire conditions and the roof collapsing, the firefighters were unable to rescue the children.
A recent study examining the safest states for high school students ranked Tennessee as one of the least safe in the nation. The report from ScholarWho, a scholarship search platform, measured the safety of high school students in each state based on a number of crime and safety indicators, such as the percentage of students that carried a weapon onto property. Each metric was given a corresponding weight, which was then used to determine each state's weighted average and overall score. The number of incidences of gunfire in school grounds within the last 10 years was a major factor in Tennessee's low ranking. A study says Tennessee is among the worst states in school shootings, ranking at number 44. The only states with more school shootings reported in the last 10 years were Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, California, Georgia, and Texas.
A man from Michigan is facing charges here in Middle Tennessee after he was allegedly found crawling out of a 13-year-old girl's home. The Henry County Sheriff's Department was called to the area after reports of a suspicious person and vehicle. The deputies found the abandoned car on the side of the road and later found Shaker Allegri crawling out of the window. WZTV-TV reports Allegri had been communicating with the teen through social media and made the trip from Michigan to see her and entered the home without the parents' consent. Allegri is charged with the criminal attempt to commit rape of a child, aggravated sexual assault, and burglary, and is being held on $500,000 bond.
The Clarksville Police Department is asking for the public's help finding a mother who hasn't been seen since she left her residence nearly 2 weeks ago. Officers say Rosemary Christensen recently moved to Clarksville from Louisiana with her adult daughter, but left their home on Hornbuckle Road on September 29th. She has not been seen since that date. Her family says Rosemary doesn't know anyone in the area and does not have a phone, money, or car. They believe she may have been trying to return to Louisiana. She is about 5 feet tall, 2 inches, weighs 175 pounds, and was last seen wearing a black and white striped shirt, black pants, and sneakers. Her hair is about shoulder length, and her natural hair color is brownish blonde with a bit of gray. Anyone with information regarding Rosemary's whereabouts is asked to call police at 911.
A former Nashville paramedic who was accused of killing his wife and father-in-law is no longer facing murder charges. Matthew Conan was accused of killing his 30-year-old wife, Rachel, and 62-year-old father-in-law, David Rodgers. He was with the Nashville Fire Department for 4 years after being hired in March of 2017, but had to resign in June after being arrested in May of 2021 for the 2 deaths, and the 2 were killed on the night of January 20th. When WKRN Nashville spoke with Conan's defense attorney, Rich McGee, the state of Tennessee decided to drop the charges that were set for later this month.
An 11-year-old boy is improving and expected to be released from the hospital after being hit by a car in Clarksville last week. Police say the boy was trying to cross Tinytown Road at Jockey Drive when he was hit by a car traveling eastbound just after 5 in the evening. The eastbound lanes of Tinytown Road were closed for nearly 2 hours as authorities worked to clear the crash. Police are asking all drivers to be more aware of pedestrians and to slow down in areas where people walk frequently.
A juvenile and 3 women were arrested after police say the group tried to steal makeup and clothes in Cleveland, Tennessee. Police say the attempted snatch and grab at the Ulta and TJ Maxx happened on Sunday afternoon. The 4 drove away from the stores. Officers were able to track them down and stop them traveling down I-75. The Cleveland Daily Banner reports around $8,000 in items were stolen from Ulta and $2,000 from TJ Maxx. Marijuana and a 9mm were also recovered from the vehicle. Charges of the suspects have not yet been confirmed.
This year is worse than the last 2 years for people on motorcycles. Clarksville has already surpassed the number of deadly motorcycle crashes they've seen over the last 2 years. So far this year, Clarksville police have responded to 113 motorcycle crashes. Out of those, 9 crashes have been deadly and 70 of the crashes involved injuries. In total, Clarksville saw 6 fatalities last year and 4 deadly motorcycle crashes in 2021. Public Information Officer Scott Bobin says speed has been a factor in more than half of the deadly motorcycle wrecks this year. Police are also seeing more aggressive and more distracted drivers. Law enforcement urges drivers to put their phones down, pay attention, and think about the lives around them that could be at stake. We will be back with the Political Corner after this break. Stay.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Hey everyone, I'm Jazmin Logan and welcome back to the Political Corner at APSU News. Israeli forces are amassing on the Gaza border ahead of a potential invasion into the Strip. Rafael Ramos from CNN has the latest.
There are new signs here on the ground that Israel may be getting closer to launching a ground invasion into Gaza. Its fighter jets struck more than 100 Hamas targets in the last few hours, and both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant, his defense minister, met with troops along the border on Thursday. Gallant told the troops, quote, "You see Gaza now from a distance, you will soon see it from inside. The command will come." He added that there's no forgiveness for the terrorist attacks, but only total annihilation of Hamas. Meanwhile, badly needed help for displaced Palestinians in southern Gaza who have been displaced by the war is going to take longer to reach them. Multiple sources are telling CNN the Rafah border crossing that connects Gaza with Egypt is not expected to reopen today, but Saturday. The World Health Organization director said the trucks are loaded and ready to go and will start delivering supplies to civilians as soon as the border reopens. As you may remember, Israel has cut off food, water, medicine, and fuel to Gaza until Hamas releases the hostages it took during the October 7 terrorist attacks. And while this is happening here in the Middle East, in Washington, President Biden delivered a primetime address from the Oval Office urging support for both Israel and Ukraine. The White House has asked Congress for $105 billion in funding that would also be used to strengthen security at the U.S. southern border. During his speech, the president made a distinction between Hamas, considered a terrorist group by the United States and Europe, and the Palestinian people, who he said are used as human shields by the militant Islamic organization. History has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror and dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, he said, they cause more chaos, death, and destruction. Of course, referring to Hamas and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Rafael Romo, CNN, Tel Aviv, Israel.
Israel announced that they will be allowing supplies back into the Gaza Strip following an attack on a hospital that killed hundreds. This announcement came as President Biden was visiting Israel with the goal of limiting any further conflicts. Hamas leaders believe Israel is responsible, while Israel says the perpetrators were another group operating in Gaza by the name of Islamic Jihad. Hundreds of injured were taken to the main hospital in Gaza to be treated, where they are suffering from disparaging supply shortages. Egypt's president authorized humanitarian aid to be sent to this region to assist during this crisis. However, President Biden says, quote, "It will end," end quote, if Hamas tries to intercept the deliveries. A big military first for Ukraine this week. Ukrainian forces used long-range ATACMS missiles provided by the U.S. to aid in the war front against Russia. Ukrainian President Zelensky expressed great gratitude towards the United States for this assistance. These missiles give Ukraine the ability to strike Russia from a farther distance, keeping their troops at a safe range. Representative Jim Jordan held a press conference this morning, hours before his expected third attempt to win the role of Speaker of the House. The Republican from Ohio spent much of Thursday trying to coax holdouts to support his bid, but numerous members of the GOP are already talking about other options. John Lornick reports.
Representative Jim Jordan is hoping the third time will be a charm.
I'm still running for Speaker, and I plan to go to the floor and get the votes and win this race.
But some Republicans think Friday's vote for Speaker of the House will be Jordan's third strike.
Seems like every time we go to the floor, he loses more votes along the way. So I do think a candidate is going to rise out of the ashes and hopefully bring some sanity back to my party.
The House has been without a speaker for more than 2 weeks after the historic ouster of Rep. Kevin McCarthy.
You can't do anything until you elect a speaker, and apparently there's not enough votes to elect a speaker.
Some in the House, including McCarthy, support boosting interim Speaker Patrick McHenry's power in the meantime.
He's been here a number of years, so he understands how Congress works. He has respect on both sides of the aisle. He could carry out the job.
But this would require Democratic backing.
We haven't had a caucus meeting about this issue and about this potential path because we're not sure yet what the Republicans on the other side of the aisle plan to do.
Right now, McHenry is slamming the gavel on that idea.
Look, my goal is to get Jim Jordan elected Speaker.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
We are seeing some progress on roadway and infrastructure projects happening in Clarksville. Mayor Joe Pitt said in a statement on the city's website, quote, "As our city continues to grow, so too should our investment in projects that enhance the quality of life and add value to our city's services," end quote. Some of these projects include roadway construction on the Exit 8 Athletic Complex. More infrastructure plans have been made for the new Clarksville Fire Rescue Administration and training facility. And the parking problem in the city is being addressed with a new parking garage that will be located at 1st and Commerce Streets. To learn more about the progress being made on these projects and many others, you can visit the City of Clarksville website. This has been Jazmin Logan, and we'll be right back with weather after these messages.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Hello, my name is Jayla, and I'm here with today's weather. NOAA Climate Prediction Center forecasts above average temperatures for the northern states this winter. It says the South could be wetter than usual with usual severe weather in the Southeast. Forecasters at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration expect strong El Nino conditions to drive those conditions. NOAA says the Great Lakes region and some northwestern mountain states could be drier than usual. Weather National Current. Okay, for the current national temperatures, I got New York at 83, Chicago is 56, down in Atlanta is 69 degrees. Seattle, we have 56 degrees, Denver is 74, and Los Angeles is 77. For our current temperatures, we have 70 degrees here in Clarksville with northwestern winds at 50 miles per hour. Now, back to the break.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I hope everyone had a great, relaxing fall break. However, it is so good to be back to talk all about...
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know
Why don't we
Did
go
you
find
not
out?
do a mic check before?
Listen.
Did you not do a mic check before?
15 seconds. Remember, say you have
Sorry, technical difficulties. I hope everyone had a great, relaxing fall break. However, it is so good to be back to talk all about the action here in Stashville that has been going on. Let's get this week started with some of the exciting news from our soccer team. These ladies took the Morgan Bros soccer field for the regular season home final against the Queen's University of Charlotte Royals, where they finished tied 1-1. Alec Benedict scored her second goal of the season and first goal of the game, allowing us to gain an early advantage. Goalkeeper Katie Bahan should also be mentioned. She has 4 saves the afternoon, with a trio saves being the opening of the second half. The ladies will look to head down the Nashville tomorrow to play against the ASUN's regular season champions, Lipscomb. The Govs will be looking for a win or a draw as this will allow guaranteed spot in the 2023 Atlantic Suns Conference champions. Good luck, ladies. You got this. Now on to more success within our Austin Peay athletic program. Let's mention our women's team. One player is mentioned is Dennis Tariba, as she is competing in the International Tennis Federation Women's World Tour in Jackson, Tennessee. Tariba was also honored as the 2023 Atlantic Summer Conference third-time selection and 2 times all-conference in the previous seasons. Wishing her the best of luck along with our women's team as they started in Intercollegiate Tennis Association Ohio Valley Regional Plays in Knoxville, Tennessee yesterday and will go into Monday. Now on to our men's, who will not be competing this week but had a good run in the International Tennis Association Ohio Valley Regional last Friday in Chattanooga, Tennessee. These men had success from Tom Bolton and he has won first round set against Memphis Charlie Berry. However, Bolton and the other Govs would drop their matches. The Govs will look back to the Chattanooga next week to compete in the UTC tournament. Time for the change scenery as we glimpse into our women's and men's basketball team as Media Day was held at the new F&M Bank Arena on Monday. Our women's basketball team was picked 4 out of 12 teams in the Atlantic Sun Conference. Coaches poll, Shamar Hale was without a doubt voted to preseason All-ASUN team selection. Hale made a name for herself last season, so we look forward to what this season brings. Our men's basketball team also has some accomplishments. DeMarcus Sharp has become the first player in the program history named to the preseason All-Atlantic Suns Conference team. Sharps will represent the Govs for the first time this season, along with 11 other players, and not to mention head coach Corey Gibson. Stashville, you can get a glimpse of both teams at Govs Madness next week on October 26th at the new F&M Bank Arena. Doors open at 5 p.m. Now to the Govs football Govs, who has having a big success too. The team has the home advantage as they look on Gardner-Webb last Saturday with a dominating win of the 48-14. Jevin Jackson set the Govs off with the first touchdown, followed by Maddox Trulio, 2 field goals at 44 and 29 yards. The Govs then came out at the end of the half ready to dictate the running Bulldogs by scoring 28. Corey Chapman has set the tone as he had 26 yards interceptions returned for a touchdown. Gardner-Webb would try to fight back after earning a touchdown in the middle of third quarter, making the score 20-14. But after the attempt, Austin Peay would leave them scoreless for the rest of the game. The Govs bounced back with Mike DeLeo would score 3 touchdowns at the end of the night. DeLeo has been Brendan Hawks and Jaden Barnes to keep the lead alive. Lastly, DeLeo then ended the day by scoring an 8-yard touchdown run. The Govs would hit the road, their long journey to southern Utah this Saturday. Best of luck, Govs. Our women's volleyball were on the run last weekend. Dillon, Florida, as they lost to Stinson 3-1. Although Peyton Demishire set a career high of 17 kills and Jamie Stewart tie her career high with the 9 kills and 2 blocks. They could not pull out in the fourth set match. The game caused the Govs to end the first half their season as conference play. Austin Peay had tough first half of their season as they took on each other's to league's top 5 in the standings. These women will look to bring the momentum in the second half. Conference played and battled to earn 8 spots in the ASUN's Volleyball Championship, which is right around the corner. The energy starts at home in the Dunn Center today, this week. The Govs will take on Queens today and Kennesaw State tomorrow. Good luck, ladies. Wishing you the best of luck. That's all the time we have for all the things Austin Peay Sports here in Stashville. Just a reminder, go out and support Govs. A schedule of the all athletic teams can be found on the Let's Go Austin Peay social media and website. Have a great week, and like always, I'm Dekylan Fields saying, let's go Peay.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Welcome back to the news. For something a little bit more lighthearted, Austin Peay State University's Rotary Ring program is still young, but has already drawn students from around the country to Clarksville to experience the exclusive benefits only found at the Outlaw Fields Hangar 5. The Sarakowski brothers are from Wisconsin, far from Tennessee's sunny skies. Younger brother Ben started taking aviation lessons in high school, building flight hours whenever he could. He says his dream has always been to fly. Austin Peay's aviation facility houses Robinson R-44 helicopters. Students take ground school courses before heading to the hangar for first time to fly. But the hands-on approach, putting students in the air and giving them the resources and confidence and a sense of autonomy and ownership is a rarity amongst many aviation programs and played a large role in drawing the Sarakowskis to Clarksville. With a global pilot shortage, Austin Peay aims to expand the talent pipeline. The Sarakowskis seem poised to launch aviation careers after finding their wings at Austin Peay. The aviation industry promises high demand and high wages for qualified pilots. Commercial airlines are offering large sign-on bonuses to recruit crew members.
Halloween is right around the corner. You can get into the spooky spirit before then. October 28th is the 3rd annual Fall Festival at Rotary Park from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The family-friendly event will include pumpkin painting, trick-or-treating, Halloween crafts, food trucks, interactions and creepy characters, and more. It is free and open to the public, but costumes are encouraged. That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU-TV_TV. Thank you for watching your APSU-TV News Update, and as always, let's go Peay!